So this is the business report planner that I've created for no matter what business lifecycle stage. Students would type in their business name, they'd list all of their research websites that they go to, they can list those all in there straight away. And in this tab over here, they're listing all of the facts. The idea is to write down as many facts that they know about the business. This will be copied over into our next section, which is our life cycle. These ideas all come from over here. So if I go back one and I type in, here is another fact, and we'll see that there, and it types in there. So the students then choose the maturity stage that they're in. So if it's seed or startup, you'll see that the syllabus insights change in terms of what the students should be sort of focusing on within there. When they're talking about the justification of the stage, they're trying to link their business facts with the actual stage. So if they click on the business lifecycle table up here, they can see that in the seed stage, high uncertainty, focus on viability, capital funding, proving concepts and things like that. So they should be putting this in their justification as to why these facts indicate that they are in that particular stage. So if I went to maturity, I'd look at the maturity up here, and I can see they're looking at sales peak, focus on efficiency, loyalty, max, market share. Some of the challenges have been complacency, price wars, market saturation. They're the sort of things that the students should be talking about, trying to link to make sure that they have actually matched the facts with the actual characteristics of that stage. Then going on to the next section, looking at the strategic aspect. This is the explain aspect of the assignments. So because I chose in this previous one here, it was maturity. If I go back over here, you can see the relevant concepts for maturity. This would change depending on the business life cycle they chose. So if, say for our year 11s doing their seed and startup for the FIA2, you'll see that now it's looking at the concepts of intellectual property, legal requirements, innovation, pathways to entries, or differentiation. So they have to choose, two of those relevant concepts that they have to explain. The strategies will come from, if they're struggling to identify what the strategies that the businesses are using, they can click on the View BLC strategies and know that seed startup, they might look at in HR from an innovation drive, employment cycle acquisition. They might look at, a unique selling proposition, establishment, pathway entries. They might be looking at incremental or radical innovation, within their operations. So they're choosing those strategies that they're listing here. That's important because that will come through later on down the track when they're doing their evaluation. Here, as I said here, students are to choose those two strategies and start writing and explaining how those strategies work within those actual relevant concepts. And that is actually part of their explain section. Once they've done that, they can go on to the analysis, choosing which analytical tool that they're using. So I've tried to make this as easy as possible for whether it's the FIA2, FIA3, IA2, or the IA3. So we've got all of the different analytical tools that they're choosing. It doesn't really matter so much because what we're trying to concentrate is on the numerical data. They can choose and add more numerical data in. As we go through here, you can add all of that in there, and this is the information that they would be adding. So I would be expecting students when they're doing this to have multiple, rows down through here for numerical data and also for the information. The key thing here is to start to identify what is the key trend that they're actually seeing from that numerical data and the long-term trend implications for them to start writing that down through there, as well as also their relationship effects and the long-term relationship effect implications. Now, this has to be brand new information that they're coming up with from their analysis that they've got up through here. Once they've done that, they go into the next section, which we all know is our evaluation and our recommendation. So you'll see here evaluation. I've got the two strategies that they were doing. Now, if we go back, you will actually see that they are the ones that were chosen here. If this was changed, if we were to say, well, okay, in the strategies, instead of going sales forecasting, I might go cash flow. If I change that now, cash flow, and I move forward, I'll actually see cash flow now as that being updated. Students then choose what their criteria that they're going to be using, and looking at that, and then they start looking at their positives and negatives and writing those down through there, and they can start doing their justified decision. Right, obviously this has to be justified from, websites and information as to why that strategy is working quite well for them, and listing the recommendations of what they are choosing. Once they've done that, they can then go into a print report. And what this will do, this will print this as a PDF, and you'll see this through here. And this will just give them a really good, start for their draft as they're working through that, and they can save that. So that's the version of my report architect that I'm planning to implement with my classes this term. I hope you enjoy this video.